Hello everybody, Bentley Compost Guy, Christy here. And yeah, if you hadn't read the description, you'd probably be wondering what on earth you were looking at in this picture. Well, of course, you know that this is my worm in Mega, down in the corner of my basement bathroom. Why on earth is it covered in a plastic tablecloth, you ask? Well, that is more of a decorative thing than any kind of moisture barrier. And in fact, I would highly recommend you don't do this. I'm going to show you in a minute what can happen when you cover the outside with any kind of impervious material. It's going to keep that moisture in. There's going to be fungal growth along the outside, which can happen anyway, but especially when there's higher moisture. So it's not generally what you want to do, and it's not what you really need to do. There are ways to keep moisture in, and I'll actually show you one of those in a second. So it has been ages since my last update. Life kind of happened. Things kind of got in the way. I got busy. A lot of stuff going on. So this bin got neglected like a lot of my other systems. But the beauty of it is just the way that I tend to keep my systems going with lots of bedding in them. Nothing really has happened as far as the overall health. The worms have shrunken somewhat. But other than that, they're doing fine. And the system as a whole is doing fine. And in early 2018, which is what it is right now, it's actually about February 7th, 2018 right now, I've started to feed it and trying to get things kind of back on track. So I've actually added a lot of food waste. I didn't bother weighing it, but probably 2 or 3 big bags full of food waste. Not really optimizing too much, just kind of chucking it in there because I know the Mega can handle it. It is, it's a great system for that. So we're going to just take a peek in there. I had a big feeding last week, so I just want to see how the worms are doing and maybe talk a little bit about what we have planned for upcoming Mega projects. All right, so I'm just going to take off this lovely fall tablecloth, and yeah, you can spiders kind of setting up shop in here. Now this is one I talked about, a strategy for keeping in moisture. I absolutely love garbage bags now. I put them in my plastic bins, I put them in my worm bins, and I just love using them. It's such a simple vapor barrier, but it works. It keeps in moisture really well, but at the same time, all around the outside, there's no trouble for air to get in there. So just something to keep in mind. Super simple. Don't use the lid. Just use that and you're fine. And some of you may remember my screen lid got chewed out of my shed. Some mice or something. So I have not bothered to replace that. And that is a big part of why I have this bed. Okay, so the last time I added stuff, I put, as I often do, a big thing of cardboard, shredded cardboard on top. And you can see these worms are just kind of dropping off here. That's one of the nice things about having this versus just the screen lid, because the worms stay up at the top. And you want the worms up at the top with a worm in Mega, okay? And especially at the stage we're at. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. You see how high up that is? That level is telling me, and particularly because of the fact that most of the material down below is dark, rich, finished vermicompost essentially. So what that tells me is that this system is definitely ready to be harvested. And that's good timing because I am planning on starting a new project. I'll talk more about that in a minute. And so harvesting and cleaning it right out is a good idea. All right, so I'm seeing lots of little worm turds around. You can see little dots. So the worms have been busy. They've been active. Oh, yeah. Look at those worms. All right, so this has been like a mix of stuff. There's walnut shells, even though I have my other walnut experiment. These ones just ended up in my main supply of food waste. Oh yeah. There's still one thing I've noticed, that the population density in here is crazy. And the worms, my suspicion is it's because of that. The worms aren't kind of fattening up all that much. They're very, very lively. They are just absolutely destroying all the food I'm putting in. I've been putting in this year. Holy mackerel, look at that. I mean, they are just annihilating it. Wow. This is one thing that I've always just been totally impressed with when it comes to worm-ins. Look at that. Okay, I'm getting a little bit too excited, aren't I? Look at this. This is a Natura Eco Cloth, sort of an earth-friendly cloth that we love to use, very absorbent, and I always throw them into my worm bins. I swear that was like mostly intact very recently. I'm really a little bit blown away by that. Now this fork, one sec about that, but you can see, look at all those worms. All those worms. Wow. Yeah, okay, so the green fork. Back in the summer, some of you may recall, we were having a kitchen renovation going on, and we ended up, our kitchen situation was a bit challenging. We ended up eating on paper plates, and we actually used some compostable cutlery. And I thought that was kind of fun because I always love trying this stuff in worm bins. Very rarely does it break down. I think this stuff tends to require a hot composting process. But, what the hey. Might as well chuck it in there, see what happens. So tons and tons of little tiny worms. Look at that beautiful vermicompost not very far below. And like I said, I mean, this is at least 3 feedings. And so I'm not seeing a lot of food in here, to be honest. Like, they are just blasting it away and turning it into this fantastic stuff. So you can imagine further down where it's drier and, the main body of the mega, it's going to be beautiful, glorious stuff that is ready to harvest. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding another big bag of food material this week, a bit more bedding, and just to help make sure that we're keeping these worms up as high as possible. And then I'm going to harvest this system, okay? I'm probably going to, harvest from the bottom first, and then remove, or maybe I may actually remove it first, remove the top area, put it in a bin, and then just harvest it out, and then we're going to start again with another project. Now, I forgot to mention, I'll just quickly show you, these little things are not anything. That's just, spider web, and that's from the inside of this tablecloth. So it's actually not as bad as I thought. I thought it was, if you put plastic right against it, you're absolutely going to see rotting, or I don't know, rotting, but just some mold growth on the outside. It's not as bad as I thought. And it's not uncommon, especially a really active bin where it's moist, for there to be a little bit of a mold growth on the outside. But that actually didn't do too badly. So, it's up to you. If you want to keep something like that over top, you can try it, but just kind of be warned. So, yeah, so the upcoming project, I can't say a whole lot about it right at this moment, but it's going to be a comparison. It's going to be 2 different systems that I'm going to be comparing, and one of them is going to be the Mega. It's going to be a lot of fun, so do stay tuned. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Hope you were happy to see another Mega update. Once again, this is Bentley Compost Guy Christie, and we'll be talking again soon.